Hey, it's Jeff. Welcome back, and let's get started. Um, King looks like it's almost back rank made, but I'm not seeing it right away. They have queen on c7, have passed pawn on c5. But we have a rook that can take the bishop on d1. I don't think that helps right away. This rook just takes, and then I don't see a follow-up tactic. A move like queen e5 doesn't work because queen can just take. If the rook were to take back on e5, then rook takes d1 is checkmate. I'm looking for those kinds of ideas. Also, queen e5, they can take the d8 rook with check. So what could it be? I just really don't know what we're attacking. Like, I don't feel like it's the king. Although we could do something like rook d2. How are they defending that b2 square? Actually, that might be it. Rook d2, rook e2, queen just takes on b2 with checkmate. And the queen, even though it's on a dark square. Oh, okay. So rook d2, the queen's best defense to this b2 square would be queen e5. But then we can take, then rook takes, then we get our back rank mate. So I think that's how it goes. And one thing, last thing check is after rook d2, they can check on the 8th rank. But I'm guessing we just move up and out the way, and eventually they run out of checks, and they also can't stop it, I don't think. Okay, so they do go for the checks. And I'm guessing it's going to be king g7 just so we can go to h6 if they check again on the 7. Because if we go to f7 and then they check, then we have to go back. And then if it's repeating, then it's probably not going to be the answer. So g7 then to h6 seems to be the way to go. Okay, so I didn't see this move. So are they just giving up material then? Or is there something better? I think we just take the rook. And they can check, we move out the way, or we're just up material, I believe. Okay. Well, now it's board. And okay, by far queen d4 move 1 was the most played mistake, played 1,200 times. Okay, so queen d4. So it's a clear move to understand. You want to take and then take for checkmate. The problem is that I would just always assume that this would have been too slow. It's not forcing enough. Because there's lots of things you can do. Or maybe not lots of things. But apparently this move stops it. Now you can't go here anymore. They can just take. And like if you were to trade here first, then you're still not able to do that because king would eventually escape to this square. So this just had like some defensive resources. They could also go bishop c2. And then they're stopping you from pulling that pattern off, and then you have to have some other idea. Maybe you try to go for this mate, but then they could still block all the threats as well. But that was like the most difficult part of this puzzle. Many people went for that idea. And then queen h4 was played about 300 times. So queen h4 here. So yeah, this is threatening the rook here, but and yeah, they can't take the bishop because you checkmate. But queen e5. defends the rook. It also threatens this, and you're no longer getting any type of back rank. No matter what combination you try, it's not really going to work out. Stuff like this, they can actually just take. They have other moves as well. Actually, this one would still win for white, puts even more pressure on this pawn. Couldn't get rid of those arrows as quickly. I think I went like this or something, but you actually have to redraw the arrow to remove it. It's kind of annoying on this one. Or maybe it's similar in some things. Yeah, I think it's similar on other websites. Oh, it's chess-based that has a weird one where you have to actually redraw all the arrows to remove them. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay, and then Queen G5, move 1 played 161 times. Where's G5? Okay, this. So this one is also a clear threat. You're going for this, but again, it's too slow. Let's see, this work? No, because the bishop is guarding. But bishop b3 seems to be like the move that just, it gets out of the way, and so now the rook is guarding this square, and they have like more pressure on this again. So yeah, it seems like bishop b3 was almost like a killer move in all the other tries that you can make. Maybe not all of them, but for a lot of them we looked at today at least. And it was really key to see that, okay, you threaten checkmate, and even that one first looks kind of slow, but then you think about it, the bad coordination here means the rook can't get to here to defend against it. And if they go here, like with this rook here, you just checkmate and won. And then the queen can't get to that square too easily. And this is the only try, but then it allows our back rank mate, which we kind of saw. My arrows are very bad today. But yeah, so one of the first things I noticed was we have potentials for back rank mate, but it didn't really come into play until you see this line. And actually I didn't even play that, so we can just play this on the board. So you would take here, and then if they were to take, you can checkmate. Alright, so we'll try another one. Alright, a lot of stuff going on. We have a rook attacking this rook, and also the c1 rook is lined up against it. This knight is only defended by the queen. Our rook is attacking it, so that's 1-to-1 pressure. The first thing I'm looking at is if we take the rook and the queen takes, then this rook would be, this knight would be free. Oh wait, if we take here, they take here with check. So if that's the case, we can think about reversing the order. I think this was like a concept in imagination in chess, where you see like some idea, and then you think about why it doesn't work, and then you try to reverse. So if we take the knight first and the queen takes, maybe that distracts, and then we take the rook on b2. And then that would make sense if bishop takes b2 is the most common mistake, because generally you want to take a favorable exchange and then win a piece, then losing an exchange and then winning a rook, maybe. I don't know. But I definitely want to play the bishop takes b2 first, but they take with check. In which case, what would the material even be? Okay, so right now it's about even for the pieces and queens. And we would just be winning an exchange if we took the rook now, assuming they just saved the knight. But if we take the knight first, we lose an exchange and then we become up a rook. Now, is there any intermediate checks after rook takes e4? They can go queen c3, and does it matter? I think we just move out the way, and then we're up a knight. So being up a whole piece is better than being up in exchange. So I'm gonna go for rook takes e4. Alright, and they took, and now it looks like we should be taking here. And they don't even have checks along this diagonal anymore when we take. They do have this pawn, maybe they could push or take, but we'll figure it out. We're also threatening their c1 rook after. Okay, so the puzzle just ends there. And let's go to analysis board. Before looking at the mistakes, I'll just see what was going on with bishop takes here. Yeah, queen takes here with check, king g8, oh, and then knight f6, so they're getting even more counterplay than I thought. So that would be another reason to not want to go for this, because after the check, but you don't have to go to g8. Although I guess it's the only other move that would make sense that doesn't give up more material on the spot is this, but then they get this. Is it queen f6? Yeah, so they're just infiltrating and doing a whole lot of stuff, and it's not going to be that great. Let's see if that was the most common mistake. Bishop takes b2. Yeah, by far played 6,500 times. That was the mistake people went for. And so you'd have to see, like, get that intuition that it might not work out, or it's mainly, I guess, most people just didn't see that it would be check when they took back. They thought they could take and then win the knight, but it's very key that it's with check, and then even after that, if you saw the check and you played it, then you'd have to see the further counterplay with either knight f6 if you go to g8, or queen h8 if you go to f8, and now the queen could then come to f6 and do some stuff. Okay, so now c takes d5 was played about 1,000 times. Okay, so just going here, and it adds a threat to the knight. It also keeps this threat, so it does seem logical. I wonder, queen c3 still, because they have this check, they can eventually, again, if you go here, I'm guessing this helps. Yeah, knight f6, winning for white. And if you go here, it's similar. You got the queen h8. Apparently, it's made a 9 at this point. So yeah, you definitely just had to decide between taking here or here. And it was possible to figure out which order would be correct. And then rook c5 played 206 times on move 1. Rook c5. This I don't understand too much, because knight takes, and now where's your tactic? You can take here, but then still check, and there's gonna be some problems for black. But yeah, that was just giving up material. But queen takes c5 doesn't work because bishop takes, so black would be okay there. But they could just take here. So it seems like it was, I'm not exactly sure what they were going for here. I mean, okay, let's see if the queen just moves out the way. Alright, well here it's winning for black. And I guess a lot of stuff is still hanging. But yeah, so, but also queen b1 is apparently okay for white here. So this would be, oh, because this is with check. So maybe they saw something like this that is thinking is winning for black. But because this is with check, now again, you run into this fork. And if you go here, you run into this stuff. That might have been it, that they saw that after this, they can go something like this. And then they thought they could take here, but it's with check. So again, like the other puzzle, there's very similar reasons for why a lot of these moves are wrong. And just spotting it once helps you eliminate all the other tries that you might do, I think. So anyway, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.